Hello and welcome, this is Bulldog Games, and today we are in our farming system for Unreal Engine. I believe this is episode 7. Today what we're going to do is we're going to add the ability to be able to dig the ground. We'll be able to, the ability to be able to dig the ground and plant specific plants. Now, when you, obviously we all know this, when you pick up the tree and you plant the tree will grow. You can only cut the tree down with the axe. Now, with this axe button, we're going to implement a shovel, so you can dig the ground with a shovel, and I may implement a digging animation. So now, because obviously we've got the axe out, we can chop this tree down, and it's going to give us the log. I understand that the thumbnail's wrong, but that's the best I got. I will update the thumbnails as the series goes on. But yeah, let's get into that. So the first thing we need to get is that obviously when we generate the ground, blueprints, no, it's been a while since I've been on it. So when we generate this ground here, this ground actor, the first thing that we want to be doing is understanding this box, right? So at this precise moment, if we click on this box, which is this box, and we set visible, hidden to game untrue, press control, press play, you'll be able to see all these little boxes of where you'll be able to plant specific things. So this is your grid, for example. Okay, so you've got to stand in this grid to plant that particular thingy. So when we pick up one of these and we press plant, it doesn't matter where it is, it's going to plant it, because it's not, as long as it's attached to the ground, it doesn't matter. So we can plant these trees literally anywhere we want, but when we dig up the ground, we want to dig up in a cube system. So for example, when you have a landscape, you can implement one of these grids into the landscape as a field, yeah, and then obviously they can go and do what they want on the field. So for this particular tutorial that we're going to do today, this is fine. We will change the size of this up to very small when we start planting, but for now these are okay. So I want to click back on the box and I want to tick hidden in game. Okay, so now what we want to do is create an interface, a function. So we need to go into the implement. We need to go into the interfaces. So we'll give it that. So we need to go into the farming interface, which I think is planting, I think. No, it's not. It's always the wrong one. I've got to get rid of that planting. We don't really need it. Farming interface here. So we've got plant tree, destroy tree. We want to create one that is a function, and the name of this function is going to be called dig ground. Okay, so we're going to dig ground. Did we call that in farming, or did we call that in... No, sorry, my bad. We actually want to delete this. We don't want to put it into here. We want to create a new interface. So here, right click, blueprint, interface. And this one's going to be called digging. Interface. Okay, and we're going to have two functions here. So I'm just going to drag this across. Okay, we're going to compile, we're going to save this function here. We're going to call this one dig ground, and we're going to add another one, and this one's going to be called plant seed. So on a dig ground, we want to add a input, and the input is going to be the player. Okay, so what player we're going to, it's going to be able to dig this ground, and it's going to be a third person object. Okay, and then out the output we want to add one, and this is going to be a boolean, and this is going to be a success. Okay, compile, save. So this is in the dig, and the plant seed is going to have a few other inputs. So the first one, obviously, no on dig ground, no on plant seed. We're going to have player. Okay. Oh. So the player that we want to be able to plant seed. Third person character. Oh my god. Third person character. We want the actor class. Okay, and that's going to be an actor class reference. And we're going to want current stack as well, which is going to be an integer. One output, which is going to be excuse me. One output, which is going to be success, and that's going to be a boolean. And I just want to make sure the dig ground is a boolean, and we're going to compile and we're going to save that. So on ground, we now want to call this interface. So we now want to call this interface to ground. So on class, under farming, planting, we now need to add the ground. Did I save it? No, it's digging, sorry. Digging interface. Okay, and then that gives us access to the dig ground here. Okay, so what we need to do is in the third person, so he'll leave that open for a minute. In the third person, I wonder what we've got down here. So holding an axe, item class, holding a shovel. So we have holding a shovel here. So from this ground, we need to pull out from this player and is holding shovel. Okay, and then we're going to bang that straight into a branch. Oh no, sorry, we don't want to set it, we want to just get it. Holding shovel. We don't want to set it, we just want to get it. And then from here, straight into a branch. Okay, and what's going to happen is, obviously, if it's holding a shovel, and this turns to be true, we want to change the material of the ground to a specific material. So we want to grab the static mesh, and we want to set material. Okay, so at the minute our material is set to a grass colour, and we want to turn it into a dirt colour. So go back to our dig ground, and on material, let's type dirt and see if we have anything in there, which I don't think we do. Do we have any dirt? Metal rust. We just need something that's going to change the colour. We'll see if we do have dirt, but maybe not. Soil? Do we have soil? No. Okay, no. Okay, let's just go with something completely unique then. Let's just get something that looks quite close, so concrete grind. Okay, we're going to compile. We're going to save that. Okay, and then we're going to create a boolean in here, in the ground, and say that it has been dug over. So we need to create a component, and this one here as has been dug over, question mark. We're going to pull from here, we're going to set it, and we're going to set it to true. Okay, and we're going to compile this and save. So now we need to call this function to the third person character. So this is the event of planting a tree, and then obviously this is all going to come off the same interact, but depending on what you're actually selecting. Okay, so the left mouse button is holding shovel. We've already set this up in a previous episode. Okay, and then obviously we're going into a branch whether it's true or false. Okay, and we put print strings there. Yeah, we put print strings in here. So plant seed if that's true, print string if that's true. Okay, what we need to pull off is the element. So we've already pulled it off here. So array element, pull off here to dig ground message. Okay, that's what we're gonna do, and the player is going to be self. Okay, if we are not holding the shovel, then it's going to go down to the branch, to the free hands, and it's going to check if with free hands, yeah, we want to plant a seed or a tree or anything sort of similar along that lines. If that's false, then we will go down this road of destroying the tree. Okay, like this is because we won't have free hands. Blah 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 blah. Right. So now we need to create another box. So compile that and save. It's already been set up. We set it up in the last episode. So it's just literally creating that function and applying it. So we need to go to the inventory widgets. Do we? Yeah, inventory here. Lovely jubbly. And we need to get one of these and duplicate. And we're going to call this one shovel hands. Shovel button. Okay, and we're going to move it across like this. You can make this a lot neater if you wish, but for now this is fine for me. Like I said, I don't really get rid of that. Don't want that. And same on the button. What the? Fuck it. So like I said, it isn't a big deal that it's not the thing for me. But we do want to make sure that this shovel button is clicked. Okay, the next thing now we need to do is actually create a little shovel. So let's get ourselves a little tube. Bring that in here. Just make that a hell of a lot smaller. And a lot longer. There we go. Like I said, I'm not an artist. I'm just here to show you how to do it. Ish. Ooh. So there you go. And then we need probably a cube on the top, maybe. Ooh. Make it thin. Just saying that it makes it look like a shovel, and then bring it up. Doesn't really look like a shovel, but you get my drift. It's sort of there, like you say, you bring assets into this and that. It's not an issue. It's the same purpose. Just change the mesh. It looks a bit cubey to me, so I'm just going to make it a little bit thinner. Not that thin, obviously. That'll do. And then bring it in. I'm not going to sit here fucking about with it forever. So if we highlight both of these, and then we go up to actors, and we go up to convert actor to static mesh, go to meshes and type in shovel. Now we have a shovel. We now have an axe. We now have a shovel. So what we need to do, we now need to go into the third person skeleton. So this will be in the character, mannequin, meshes, SK mannequin. Okay, so we have that's left hand. So for the right hand, we have the axe socket. We want to duplicate that socket. So on the lower hand, we want to right click, add socket, and we want to call this shovel underscore socket. And then we can preview that shovel. So we can click on this, right click, add preview, and we can go shovel please. And there it is. Right, so this one here, the axe, we can remove all attached assets. On the shovel, you want to go add asset and type in shovel. And to me that looks a little bit long, but it's a shovel. Let's not comment and say how shit my shovel looks. Okay, it is what it is. You can sort all this out if you wish, but for me, we're just going to hold it like that as a shovel. We're going to compile, we're going to save that, we're going to go to the third person character. Did we save that? We did. We're going to go to the third person character, and you see where we've got this axe mesh. We need to now create another one, so we need to click on mesh, add static mesh, and this one is going to be called shovel underscore mesh. And yep, you guessed it, it's going to be the shovel. And go to viewport. We're going to grab this shovel mesh, we're going to attach it to shovel socket. There we go. So now we've got obviously axe socket, and we've got shovel socket. So naturally this axe socket here is hidden, so naturally this shovel should be hidden. So we're going to put visibility and we're going to click it off for now. Okay, so now we have our axe and we have our shovel. What we now need to do is go into the inventory, and when we click this button, so on shovel button, unclicked, we literally want to do this. 1 minute. It's a third person event graph. So where do we actually say that we're holding the shovel? Right. Okay. So we've got is holding axe and free hands, and then at the end of the X button, we also need to pull off here and get is holding shovel, and we need to set that to true, to false, sorry, and then we need to duplicate this, Control C, Control V, and set that as well to false. So everything gets set back to false, and then same with holding hands. We need to set everything back to false. Okay. Sweet, isn't it? So we need to literally copy this whole section here, not the event tick. We can get rid of the event tick. We do not event tick, get rid of it. We can copy all of this section here, and we want to go Control C, and then on this click button Control V. All right, because what this is going to do, we need to go to third person and get shovel. Oh. Get shovel mesh and click it up to here. This is going to create the visibility. Okay, the same here. Shovel mesh straight into here. So now this is your visibility. Okay, so what we need to do is, this is holding axe, so no, we need holding shovel, holding axe to be untrue. Okay, when we're hiding it, we want the free hands to be true. So we press compile, target, oh yeah, third person, done. Did I do it on the other one? No, I didn't. So there we go, compile, save. So now when we click the shovel button, it lets us have the shovel in our hands. Okay, but when we click on the square, after a second, it will make that square that. Okay, so you can add a little interaction there that you wish. That you have to hold that particular. Once you've got to be in the box though, so you need to make that box either smaller or bigger. Okay. So now you have a nice little bit of ground. The good thing about it is that you can actually can't plant trees. I don't think. Yeah, so you shouldn't be able to plant trees there with the shovel in your hand. So we're going to sort that out now. But you can still plant and grow trees on that bit of land. That does need to come up a bit. But on a bit of tilled land that you've done, you can still plant trees on it. So what we're going to do now is when we got a third person holding shovel. No, right. So when we want to plant the tree, we need to check to see if we're holding anything. Okay. So we needs to be true. So is holding hands. So 3 hands here. Free hands, and this we had an and boolean needs to make this work here. Okay, so we need to have the interface and 3 hands into this branch to plant a tree. So when we pick up a tree, if we've got the axe, if we've got the hands on. There you go. Right, so hands always needs to be set. Okay, so we need to set the hands to true before anything. Okay, so this will be done on the inventory up here on the event construct. Okay, we just literally pull from this third person character and set hands to true. Okay, so let's pick up a few trees here. 1, 2, 3. We want to click on this tree and plant it down. We can because we have hands, but if we have an axe out and we click on this tree and press plant, it won't let us plant it because we've got the axe. But if we click on the hands, click on the axe again, that puts us back to 3 hands, we can plant that tree. Okay, same with the shovel. If we have the shovel out, we can't take this tree down. We could dig the ground around it, but we can't. We have to have the axe out to knock the tree down, and that's going to give us a log, for example. So, like I said, the sky's the limit on the tools. The tools are pretty easy, but that is a bit buggy. So, for some reason, I have the shovel and the axe out at the same time. So, it needs to hide them. So, when we click on the axe button, it needs to hide any mesh so here. So when we click on the shovel button, it needs to show the shovel. If it's holding the axe is false, set new visibility, holding the shovel. Here is when holding an axe is true. We want to hide. Wait. So when we're clicking it, we want to. Alright, so this is right. But what we need to do before we do this is hide everything else. So we need to set. Is it axe? Yeah. Axe. Axe mesh, okay, and then we're going to set the visibility on the axe mesh. So set visibility on the axe mesh the false. And then we're going to literally grab that and that, Control C, and put that on this. So this is where we're getting the axe out. Okay, and then before that, we need to do this. So before we give ourselves the axe, we need to hide the existing one first. Okay, so this is what this is for. So now when we press play, we press axe, we've got the axe, press shovel, we've got the shovel. Press axe, we've got the axe, press shovel. Why does it take 2 clicks to do that? Alright, so on the shovel here, on the axe it works. Okay. So why do we have to press shovel twice? When we click the button, we're checking to see if we're holding the axe. Okay. Third person, holding axe. Right, okay. So here on the shovel button, he's holding axe. So we're not setting it. We're not setting it. So he's holding shovel. True. We need to set. Is holding shovel true? Depends if it's been clicked. Doesn't it? So the bug that we're trying to figure out is why you have to press shovel twice. You see that? So when you click axe and you press shovel, it's still showing the axe. I think that's because on the inventory here, pull this back a bit, it doesn't know which way to go. Okay, this is coming up as true or false, I believe. So it's not. Right, so that's true, and that's false. Oh shit. You're probably screaming at me right now. So now when we click the axe and we click the shovel, it's coming up as true. It needs to be coming up as false. So holding the axe needs to be set to true, I think, off the bat. Hang on a minute. So on here, is holding axe needs to be set to true until you click it. Okay? So right, wait, I don't think that's going to work. Right, so shovel, axe. So it's still coming out as true. Right, hold it there. I'll have a little workout with this and I'll come back. Found it. Here. So because we copied and pasted this, the holding of axe here. The holding of axe here. So actually this actually needs to be is holding shovel. If holding shovel is false, then it will set it up. So now when we press play, you can click on axe, shovel, hands. but now it does not go back to hands. And when you click this again, okay, axe goes to hands, shovel does not go to hands. Right, so he's holding shovel mesh. We need to enable his holding hands. So what happens is here we need to set under hands button, we need to set shovel. Okay, shovel mesh to target. Compile, save. So now it doesn't matter if we've got the axe in the hands, it goes to hands. Shovel in the hands, it goes to hands. Shovel goes back to, click it again, it goes back to shovel. Axe, click it again. So now you've got a few tools that you want to make work. Okay, you can add these quickly, I will show you, and so this video ain't too long. You can actually add these to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 if you wish. Hang on a minute, where'd it go? So, for example, just quickly, I will just show you a quick preview of this. So if you go to third person, and we'll do it down here. If you press 1 and get keyboard input 1, hell, 1 on the keyboard. When it's pressed, we want to do exactly what we've done. Yeah. So when 1 is pressed on our inventory, number 1 is design axe. Okay. So we want to set the visibility. So on third person, we want to set the visibility of the axe mesh. So axe mesh, set visibility to new visibility. Okay, and then what we want to do is we want to hide that visibility. Okay, so it will need your number 1 needs a flip flop. So I'll show you on 1 and you'll understand. Right, so it needs a flip flop. So axe mesh, we need to understand. Yeah, we need to, when we press 1, it needs to, we need to set is holding axe to true. Okay, set visibility. The reason why we do this is so the other inventory doesn't get confused. So we Control C, Control V this. Okay, and then is not holding axe. Okay, and then set visibility to hands, which is obviously nothing. Okay, so hands set to true. Okay, so we need to hide the visibility. So if we Control C this, Control V this, so in this one we need to hide the visibility of the axe. So Control C this, Control V this here, and that's not going to be in preview anymore, which means that the free hands is. When we click the axe, we need to also set the visibility to the shovel. Okay, because again, the true. Because if we are holding a shovel, then we need to tell them about it. Okay, but if we're not holding a shovel, then it doesn't really matter. So if we now compile that, save, press play, add 1, press 1, holding the axe, press 1 again, takes the axe away. Press 1, holding the axe, press 2, takes the axe away. Holding a shovel, press 1, now you got the axe. Press 1 again, put the axe away. Okay, shovel. Now because obviously we was holding the shovel here, we need to do a check to see if the mesh for that shovel, it's the same as this set. Okay, so it's the same as this set here. The reason why we set this boolean here is so it doesn't confuse the inventory. But if we do have the shovel in and we do press 1, yeah, to hold the axe, we need to tell this bit of code that the axe was visible, but it is now not. So we need to do is holding axe, okay, and we need to do a branch because we need to check to see if we are actually holding an axe. If we are holding an axe, there's set visibility, okay. But if we're not holding an axe, then continue what you're doing, okay. So if we are holding an axe, then set the visibility. So we need to set is holding axe to true, okay. I know it's a bit backwards and it's a lot back and forth from the variables, but they do work as long as you get them in the right thing. So now, even though we are holding the shovel, yeah, and we press 1, it holds the axe, but if we go back to shovel, it's still giving us that bug. Why? Because we're pressing 1, we're holding the axe, we're setting the invisibility, then we're going to check to see if we are holding an axe. If we are holding an axe, it's true, then set is holding axe to true. Okay, Control C, Control V. But if we are not, then set holding axe to false. So now if we press shovel, it gives us, press 1, it gives us that. Press shovel again, we're already in the true, but it does not close because we're not setting the axe back. Yeah. So now the issue is that it's not going to hide the axe mesh because you're not. For example, quickly, we are getting a bit long on this, but if we click 1, yeah, it knows that we are holding an axe. Okay, and it's set. But if we press X on this, it's going to hide the axe. But if we press 1 again, it doesn't do anything because now it's a flip-flop. Okay, so it really needs to be a branch, but we'll conquer that in the next episode. But I hope this helped implementing a few more tools. Like I said, you don't need to have it to 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is just, I'm not going to have it. But this is just literally a quick little session, a quick little optional extra that you can add in if you wish. But on that bombshell, I'm going to say goodnight. It is now 38 minutes into this video. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe button if you are enjoying it. The channel has grown extremely well over the last couple of months, so keep hitting them thumbs up. Keep giving us a comment to let us know if we can improve these videos. And also, subscribe button. Love you all. Bye.